in at tunesbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming from your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill a cow. What your no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha, yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying back in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my Looking Hour. Don't gotta distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Tommy? So that today, Papi was telling me that seriously? I'm gonna look for Looking Hour, yeah. Papi, thank you. Thank you for telling me about Looking Hour.
My daughter? Ha, now Ada, don't say I'll tell you. Bye.
In at tunesbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming from your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill a cow. What your no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha, yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. Welcome to the Logan's Hour again. Today promises to be a very great edition of the Logan Hour. So stick it still as we come back and bring you entertainment, education, as well as whatever you're looking for. All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. Welcome again to another great edition of the Logan's Hour. Today promised to be a real great show, as always. And I'm asking all of you who just joined this program to at least share the show with somebody who's going to join the program. So I want to say to some of you who just joined and to my people who regularly join the hours, I want to say thank you so much for joining the Logan's Hour. I see my dear brother and friend Deborah Papa, the King Eugene Dosua, Celine Valentino, Logan Hour, Unse, my beautiful wife, my princess Liwe Hamu Logan. Thank you too for joining the Logan's Hour. And to all of you who join us here today, I see tons of you join up. My own Oma says Isabella Nimba. I know my Oma still following us from Las Vegas. So Oma, welcome if you're in town. If you're in Vegas, we also say, well, be strong out there. And to all of you who joining us for the first time, we want to say thank you for joining us. And some of you who been with this program for some time now, we want to say we truly appreciate you. Because of you, we are here. Trust me. Only you can make these things successful. And without you, nothing can happen. And today, I want to use this time to say to all of those who always donated to this program, I want to say thank you as well. And today we have few things. My own Oma following, sis Vera, my own mother-in-law. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my dear brother and friend, Likodima Jacob. Mother Barrow, Likodima Jacob, welcome, my dear brother. Thanks to all of you who just joined the program. We want to use this time to say my own dear cousin, Olivia Keepon Cheyi Johnson, or Johnson Cheyi. Anyway, kind of the same way. Thank you for joining the show today. We have a whole lot to talk about. But before we can start our program, let's take this short intro and we'll be back. All right, we are back. Thank you for joining us again. We want to say to all of you who just joined us, we want to say thank you. And okay, the Oma says you're back. Sis Eze is back. So Sis Eze, thank you so much for going to care for the bereaved family as well. And I know in your time of bereavement, we pray that the Almighty God strengthen you. To my Oma Annie Gibson, I see you following as well. Thank you for joining us today. And to all of you who joined us here, I want to say thank you. For those of you who are watching us on the YouTube, on Facebook, on both pages, we want to use this time to say thanks to all of you who just joined us. And today we have a whole lot of things to talk about. But before we can go to what we have to talk about first, because we're already late, already 6:49. We're going to do too many intros and things. So we're just going to go straight to what we are here for today. But before we can go to that, we will also use this time to say pre-congratulations to our dear brothers, Mr. Rufus Stati, former president of the Liberian community of Indiana, running in Bond County as a representative candidate, and Mr. Alvin Pena, running in District number 8, Masurado County. Pre-congratulations to both of you guys. We're really proud of you people. And we wish you guys success. We wish you guys success as you go through these election processes. And we have, looking at the National Election Commission website, we have approximately, I think, 7 days to election. By Sunday, all campaign and everything will come to an end. And Monday, the National Election Commission would use her team members to clear voting places, to remove flyers, stickers, banners, or whatever thing you put around during the time of campaigning. And on Tuesday morning, Liberians will go to the polls. Sometimes people have different ways to say it. Some people say it is a sad moment. Some people also see it as a jubilant movement. But whatever or however the situation presents itself to Liberians, nothing under the sun should ever provoke anybody to go back to the butchers. We can disagree, however, but our disagreement should not allow us to revert to towing AK and calling our brothers small soldiers and our sisters small soldiers. Those days are gone. And as we go to the polls, we are asking every Liberians to be very tolerant of the next person candidate they support. We all cannot support the same side. We have to respect that. We all cannot support one person. We all cannot be unity partisan. We cannot be sedition. We cannot be whatever shame we have. But respect for all matters. Do not allow selfish politicians who are seeking their own interests to make you to revert to 1989. Some of you walking around Liberia today, you see a little younger, or you might be in your 30s today. You haven't experienced much. But we sitting here today, we are speaking from experience. We were much younger when this war started. And we lived it. We went through it. We went all around, came back, and we saw it. So we know what war capable of doing. So whosoever political candidate who stand and singing war song, tell that person to bring his daughter or his son to join him if they want to see Liberia go in that direction, but not you. Now is the time that we rebuild and move forward. Nations around the world, they are moving forward in terms of the democracy, in terms of development, infrastructures, and everything. But we cannot keep retrogressing. Time in, time out. It is the same old thing. It's a Liberian story for you. Everybody feels they own the key to making Liberian better. And Liberians, don't get carried away. These things usually happen in election times. So, as everything is unfolding now, I'm asking all Liberians, violence shouldn't be the way. Peace at this point. When this result is announced by the National Election Commission, I'm asking everybody, wherever the outcome may be, whoever may win, let's use the court to disagree, because they are the final arbiter of justice. Let us not take to the street and allow selfish politicians to make us to burn places, run after our brothers and sisters. It will be a perfect opportunity for us to use the court system. Liberia is all we have. Peace is all we need. So whoever wins this election, George Weah, Joseph Walker, Tianwan Gongolo, or whoever person win this election, let's embrace our new leader. Let's celebrate Liberia. And let's work together to see Liberia to where we want it to be. Until then, we have 7 more days to go. And we'll have 2,400,000 people who will be going to the polls. And those people who will go to the polls, these people you see on the screen here, you have 1,237,257 females. You have 1,234,360 females. The total number of registered voters who will be making the decision or deciding the fate of Liberia on Tuesday, 2,471,617. Now is the time to campaign. Go into the trenches, win more votes, win the hearts and minds of people. But until then, I wish every Liberian a peaceful election. I wish every Liberian a peaceful election. Let us not allow ourselves to be ruled or to be controlled by politicians. During the time of campaign, they call you masses. I'm here for the masses. I introduce things for the masses. But when they are elected, they take the M. They call you asses. So don't get carried away. Your power is in your hand. This is the time that you exercise your power. Make a decision. This is not about your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother. Your brother's interest may not be your interest. Your sister's interest may not be your interest. It is about you saying to your vote, this ballot I'm going to cast, or this vote I'm going to cast. These are the things I expect from it. And this person I'm going to vote for, this person is capable of doing 1, 2, and 3. Don't vote for someone who's just going to give you rights now. Look beyond your sight. See what that person can do for your unborn generation. Which laws that person capable of putting in place for your children to come. Please. Liberia is all we have. And Liberians, make the right choice. Vote whatever person you think is capable of leading Liberia? Look at all the 20 political candidates who vie for the presidency and make your decision. And when you get to that ballot box, it's only you, that paper in front of you, and your conscience. So vote right. Vote right. And I wish everybody a peaceful and a signed election on Tuesday. As Liberians gather on Tuesday to go to the polls, I wish everybody success. Thank you. All right, so today we are here and we have so many things to talk about. But today we have one of our own former president, Mr. Rufus Tati. And Mr. Rufus Tati will be doing his official closing of his campaign on Saturday. This Saturday in Bon County. And this Saturday will be the 7th. So the man who led this community for 3 consecutive years is now reaching out to us, we that live here, we that live in this part of the United States called Indiana. And Mr. Tati is saying here to you, my dear people of Indiana, we have played our part. We will have just 7 more days to go. We started this campaign on our own. We started working from day 1. And we are ready to move that district in Bon County and change the people's life on day 1. And at this point, we have come to the point where we are asking our community members, the people of Indiana, the people who never liked anybody down, to make some contributions to the campaign close on Saturday. And let me say this. You can choose to make some donations, or you can choose not to, depending on your current situation. But it will be an awesome thing for you to also put your money to what your mouth will be. So we want to take the first 5 minutes of our time here today to ask you, the community members, to please donate to the close of Mr. Rufus Tati campaign. If you don't have it, we understand. But if you wish to make some donation, we will also put on the screen for you the medium through which you can donate to your dear former president campaign in Liberia, Mr. Rufus Tati. So I know right now some people want to make some donation right now. They're just waiting for the numbers, for to put a number out there. Oh, how can we donate? But let me say this. I know in political terms, we all have our political candidates. We also put in somebody somewhere, Boaka, Cummings, and or whoever person you support. So if you make your donation here today, we will not mention your name, because I know somebody will say, oh, you support Boaka, and Rufana support Boaka, or Rufana support Komi, or Rufana support Jovia, so you can give your money to him. And at this point, we're not talking about any presidential candidate. We are talking about one of our own. Somebody who served us here for 3 years. Somebody who going to Labrador to participate in the general and presidential election, whose tomorrow will bring pride to this part of the United States. Who tomorrow, the Labrador people of Indiana can sit down and say, you know what? Let's put some barrel together. Let's put some medical equipment together. Let's put some this together and support people in Bond County with special needs. So today, it's a pretty simple thing. I want to put it right on the screen here. If you want to do Cash App, you can do your Cash App to the name you see down there, Dalisha Sam. And the number to do your Cash App, you can send your Cash App to 317-332-0559. And I know it's not easy to give, but let's do the American style sometime. The American people, when it comes to giving, they don't take for granted dollar. Dollar is a significant number to give. So I'm asking, you ain't got to do $5, you got to do $20, you got to do $30, you got to do $50, you got to do nothing. All you got to do, you just got to send $1 or $2. If you even send 0.5 cents, we will appreciate it. We appreciate it. Let's support our former president, who is in my Bond County currently, and vying for the representative seat, Mr. Rufus Tati. So you can send your donation to Dalisha Sayon. Is right on the screen. The name is right on the screen. And I know that some of the time we can get so quiet when it comes to giving. You know, I know us at time we can get so quiet. But whatever you give, we appreciate. Whatever you give, Mr. Tati, we appreciate. We ain't going to mention anybody in here when you donate to say, oh, the person said $10, the person said $5, the person said $20, whatever person. Because we know when it comes to politics, we all have our side. And we want to mess with anybody's side here right now for people to say, oh, they're mad. You know, he part of so party, then he gave me so thing. Me, the reason why I can talk sometimes the way I talk, because I'm not part of any political party. I know I fixed my signature to any political party before. So if I come up here, I'm coming from a neutral standpoint, and I can ask any political party that let my business. Because I know a lot of political parties let my business. Yeah, and I see that one before. So my people are here, are asking you, Mr. Rufus Tati asking for a donation, please. If you want to donate anything, please send it to the number on the screen. The power about the lady who controls the number, she's not in studio with me. So whatever you send, I will not see it. So it'll be a perfect opportunity to send your late nickel, your late dime, your 30, your 20, your 15. So my people, they're right there begging you, please, let's do little donation for Mr. Rufus Tati. So we're going to go into a different thing. And as the show go on, the donation information will be right on the screen. At any time, your heart caught, and you want to stay, make your little simple donation, it will be right on the screen. You can come back and say, well, I know I want to donate, but the way I see you talking about it caught my heart. Because when Rufus, because love me go tomorrow, Liberia, everyone of us will be proud here. Mr. Penner will be launching too. I don't know if he has launched or he closing or whatever. But the Tatis reached out to us to tell the community that they would love for us to be part of this process. That tomorrow, the people of Indiana can put their hand on the chest and knock the chest, say, you see that, man? We made him lawmaker. That because of us, today, that man saying that there, he's a lawmaker. So we're asking you, my people, please, every one of you people, wherever you can get $10, $5, $20, any dollar you ought to give, we are asking you, please do your donation at this stage. All right, so if you just joined or if you don't know where you are on the Logan's Hour. You want to say sticking still? We are here on the Logan's Hour. All right, so at this stage, let's go to something different. And as I stated, I don't have the cash app or the payment information to know whoever person making donation or whatever. So if you make a donation, if we do not recognize you to say, hey, John Brown, thank you, or the person who just donated, thank you. I'm sorry about that because we don't have the donation information. So the person who receiving it will just notify and let you know that, oh yes, this person, thank you so much for doing whatever. So let's talk about some of what we have to talk about today. Yeah, and we will just go straight to it. We'll talk about, mainly we're going to talk about our community issue here today. I know some of you on here from Liberia and other places. You want us to talk about issues from your community or other places. Mother Comfort, thank you for joining us. Patient Paymap, Reese, thank you so much for joining me today. So we want to talk about issues confronting the Liberian community of Indiana. There are numerous issues we've been talking about. Specifically, we talk about the conflict that has been within the executive, and specifically that has been going on between the Rick Monroe, as they can call, that has been going on between the president of the Liberian community of Indiana, Mr. Julius Parker, and Mr. Robert C. Carrot, who is the Secretary General of the Liberian community of Indiana. So we've been talking about that. On Sunday, we had an emergency show to throw some light on those things and talk about how can we mitigate and how can we put an end to what we saw happening in the community, because it is other people might say first of its kind for the president and one of his team member to get into this kind of a hullabaloo. You know, let me put some life in myself, because somebody sent me a text here saying you sounding so soft today. You sleepy or you tired. I'm not sleepy. I'm not tired. You know, I'm here to serve the people. But let's talk about this thing here, because I know. We started this conversation over last Thursday. We talked about it last Thursday. We called the Secretary General on here to hey, Mr. Luscious Tito Harris. Welcome, my dear brother. Welcome, my brother. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. So when we talk about these things on last Thursday, and we call him the Secretary General, Mr. Robert C. Carrot. We call him on the show to verify our information as to what we're hearing, if that's something that we could run with, or if that was true concerning what we were hearing. And Mr. Robert C. Carrot, yes, he came up here and he said, yes, according to the Article 12, Section 2.6 you just read, it is true that the vice president violated three consecutive meetings And after a while, when the Secretary General verified that, and I asked the Secretary General, I specifically asked the Secretary General, Mr. Secretary General, so, but what you just said, it means that because the Constitution says, by right, the position should be declared vacant. And the Secretary General said yes, but that will be done in a general meeting, and hopefully that will be placed on the agenda for the next meeting that will be coming up. And when the Secretary General said that, hell broke loose. In no time, the next morning, seems like the president had a real sleepless night, and the president came out to reassure the community that the Secretary General, he was in error, and by right, the vice president, there's nothing to talk about. The vice president was in good shape, and everything is okay. And in that same vein, in the same letter, the president responded. He said that, however, we are deliberating on the matters, and that sparked some concerns. And we wanted to know further if the president can say to us that nothing happened, obviously, then what is said that they are deliberating on. So we put some pressure. We in our labyrinth pattern, what people usually say, we chicle under the president's feet. And that prompted the president to send a whole press conference. So the president had a whole press conference, and his press release came out, and the press release what was it? The press release came out on Sunday night, I think. So it's not funny, but it's a little funny. Let me say this to you. It's a little funny. And the reason why I'm saying it this way, because Mr. Julius Parker, hold on. I think the reason why I'm kind of like licking on my lip, because my lip is a little dry. Let me get something on my lip. Mr. Julius Parker, president of the Liberian Association of Indiana, and his Secretary General, Mr. Robert C. Carey, they are each Chamberlain. And those of you who from Liberia, when people say Chamberlain, you know what I'm talking about. The Secretary General verified my information. Yes, it is true. The vice president missed 2 consecutive meetings or 3 consecutive meetings. And the president came out. The president said, not true. Why are we going up and down, thinking about what happened? Hold on, let me put my lip gloves on my mouth so my lip can be a little wet. Sorry about that. All right, so if you get it well, then that's it. I think my lip is okay now. Okay, so the president came up with his release, and he came up with a whole press release and a press statement talking about you find the secretary was in an error, the secretary misinformed the community, and in the end, the president make a statement, and he said the vice president position is well protected. So there's no shaking to the vice president position. The vice president is well protected. So what we did here, so let me just go to the end of it where the president said the vice president position is well protected, so you can know what I'm talking about here. At the end, the last paragraph here, the president said, in view of the foregoing, let me emphatically state that the office of the Vice President, Richard P. Boyer Jr., remains protected, and Mr. Boyer continued to perform his function and responsibilities as Vice President of the Librarian Association of Indiana. All right, let that set that little portion of it. And we say here on this program that we don't need the president to protect the vice president position. We need the Constitution to protect every elected official position in this community. And something I said here on Sunday, I'm sorry for some of you who came for the motivational hour. Today's show about motivational hour. We'll be talking about God and other things, but we just want to drag on this thing a little because we think that if we started something and now it has grown to another part. Don't leave, stay here because something happened just yesterday. I'm about to break that to you again. And I know this is going to be a talking point again, every part of the community as well. But I'll try to lay the premise before I can break that up here right now. So we came here as friends to the president. And we tried to remind the president of his role as president of the Librarian Community of Indiana. And, you know, in 2023, if anybody would have told you that Mr. Parker or Mr. Julius Parker will be that president who doesn't listen, you have never believed this. Because everybody felt or everybody knows Mr. Parker, he's this easygoing guy, somebody who ears will be open, and somebody who will want to listen and follow some instructions and accept some positive criticism. But on the contrary, Mr. Parker has turned to be a creeping dictator. On yesterday, October 2nd, 2023, Mr. Parker created another executive chat. And the executive chat Mr. Parker created, he added all of his executive members and excluded the Secretary General, Mr. Robert C. Carey. All of these people were added with the exception of his Secretary General, Mr. Carey, the tall fellow you see in the middle. And Mr. Parker had the guts to go in the previous chat where they usually communicate, all executive members, and say to them that going forward, all reports should be forwarded to this new chat room. That blew some concerns. Some of the executive members become very furious, and they wanted to know what's happening here. Why would the president create a new chat in the midst of all these shaking between he and the Secretary General? We thought the president we are going to solve this thing here, and let's lay this to rest and work and embrace the coming new year. But instead, the president is open for some fight. Now, it has become a power struggle thing here. The president in his head feels that, he's not answerable to anybody. He's the president. Whatever he say, his words are his bone. And when he speak, he speak. So few members of the executives, concerned members of the executives, they felt this is wrong. We do not expect for Mr. Parker to be proceeding this way. After this thing happened between he and the Secretary General, it has come to the public. We expect for Mr. Parker to be calling an executive meeting at this time to have this thing laid down for once. But when I said that the president creating new executive chat and not including the Secretary General in that chat and telling us to report to that new chat, what is going on? And I said to a few of them, well, it is where it is. But the great sons of Ogrubu Dudum once said, power is a perishable commodity. When you become elected, your popularity tries to diminish. And when you joke with power, power kills. And when you die, you will be buried. And when you are buried, you'll be forgotten. And your legacy will never live on. Who in this community will ever see a smooth talking person like Julius K. Parker, who you see he always smile, he don't appear like he have problem, to become a little vindictive in 2023? Who will ever expect that? That the president of the Liberian community is not reachable. The president of the Liberian community have become a little egotistic to the point that he cannot reach out to his Secretary General and have a phone conversation to solve what is happening right now. Right now, at this point, what I'm seeing is going to be a very, very difficult thing now to solve this problem, because the way it is blowing out of control, it is blowing in a negative direction. I can rest assured tell you at this moment, if the president is listening to his surrogates. And Mr. President, I said this the other day. You see me? Some of you who can advise you, you're not left. But I will always be your friend. I will always be that person who look in your eyes and tell you, Mr. Parker, you are not proceeding the right way. On yesterday again, because the Secretary General is very firm, and he said to this president that the meeting that's supposed to be held in October, that meeting should have the vice president, 3 meetings absent on the agenda to be discussed by the body. Now the president and his little advisors have gone to concoct another new ideas. And trust me, all right here, I just say now behind the microphone, the people just come in and say, oh, you know, the whole come from talking general and say what happened, they say, oh, and how you say what? I say what happened, they say, oh. The president say, year 18, they will put a suspension bill on the floor to suspend Robert Carey. I just laugh. How my dog can say, I just laugh. And I was confused. I like, how can the president suspend Robert Carey? The president don't have the power to suspend Robert Carey. First of all, people have to understand something very simple as elementary when it comes to the rules and functions in the Constitution. The president cannot suspend any elected official. We, the people, we can suspend the president. We can impeach the president. We can suspend the secretary general. We can impeach the secretary general. Nothing in our constitution says the president can suspend any elected official. So they need to stop fooling this good man, Mr. Julius Parker. I know Mr. Julius Parker of late, he have a little mini advisors all around him telling him what to do. And some of them I know they are very emotionally charged at this moment. So they're just telling you, Mr. President, you have the power. You're the president. Don't let nobody dictate to you. But Mr. President, let me say this to you today. We are not running a dictatorship here. We are running a democratic form. And that form called for equal participation of every member of this community. And when you look at the power of the president, first of all, I heard somebody running with this little line talking about the president is the chief spokesperson. The president is the chief spokesperson of the community. So the president's going to say that. The president, that is Secretary General supposed to say that. Listen, sometimes we know the kind of society we find ourselves in now, and we know some of our people, specifically, me, I let her use my own mom, Mary Logan. She's not as letter as you guys are. So even if you tell it, the constitution here, you turn it upside down, you read it to her, whatever you tell her, that what she will believe. You tell it A, joy, B, put line in the middle, my mom will say that country horse. But she fought hard to send her children to school. So we will not sit here and few people who has been doing this thing over the years in 2023 continue to fool us and control us in that direction. It will not work anymore. We are here now. We are here now. How dare can somebody say that the president of this community, Mr. Julius Parker, is the one who is clothed with the authority to disseminate information to the community? Because the Constitution says the president is the chief spokesperson of the community. What a flawed knowledge. Let's go to some of the duties of the president. I heard somebody running around. The president is the chief spokesperson of the community. The president is the chief spokesperson of the community. Yes, of the association, rather, not even the community. Under the president duties, on Article 6, Section 1.1, it clearly states the duty of the president. And in those duties of the president, it's spelled out. It says the president shall be the chief executive officer and principal spokesperson of the association. All right, now let's break that identical part down to you guys, because some of you not understanding that part. Maybe you're reading the Constitution backward. Let me give you this example. The President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency President George Manneh Weah, he's the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia. It doesn't mean he the one controlling the army. The President of the Republic of Liberia, President George Manneh Weah, he's the chief spokesperson of Liberia. It doesn't mean President Weah is the information minister. So you need to stop fooling Mr. Parker. When it said this president is the chief spokesperson of this community, it means this president is clothed with the authority to go and negotiate for this community, to go and serve as a liaison between this community and other organizations that they will see beneficial to this Liberian community of Indiana. It doesn't mean the president is the one who will go to a meeting where I was saying the meeting, he can't explain it to us. When somebody have issue that has to do with the Constitution, they should call the president. So he the chief spokesperson is the law and gospel of the community. You need to stop fooling this man. You need to stop fooling this man. This man is a good man who has built his reputation over the time. You can sit here and tell him, they say you are the chief spokesperson. So even if we want to verify that the vice president missed 3 consecutive meetings, we got to call the president to verify from the president. That doesn't make sense. The Secretary General who answered the question, who we call, he will cloud with the authority to verify that information because he controls the records. So some of you people have to go back and read the functions of the president. Because I know some of y'all there, you're ready, you know it, but y'all won't come back and fool my Oma when I know both. And tell my Oma say, oh, the president are the chief spokesperson, and in fact, if we get anything to happen, the constitution, you might call the president. It don't work that way. If that's the case, then we would not have information minister in Liberia. The state constitution also tells you that the president should serve as a liaison between the Liberian Association of Indiana and other Liberian entities. So now, if the president serving as a liaison, he's the chief negotiator between our institution and all the other institutions around that functions in the same direction we functions. The president is not the one who will be telling you, say, oh, today's meeting, what we'll discuss is this one. They got something they call division of labor. Division of labor. Division of labor brings about specialization of tax. And another thing I see you guys fooling this guy on, fooling this man, the good man, Mr. Julius Parker, is, oh, Mr. Parker, saying you the president, you can do anything. In fact, you don't have to even call meeting, you the president. I challenge Mr. Parker on today, October 3rd, 2023, to not call meeting today year end. I will champion the impeachment bill against Mr. Parker, and early January, Mr. Parker will be out of office. The Constitution provides for that the assembly meet quarterly. So where in the world, when the little boys come on and tell the president, Mr. President, you don't even have to call meeting. This thing is not for Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker is just, he asked us to serve. He's our servant. We give him instruction what to do. So Mr. Parker cannot take this and make it seem as that my property here, if I will not call meeting, I'll see who can do what. It don't work that way. In the impeachment process that some of you talking about, running around, oh, the impeachment process is long. It's a simple impeachment process. See what Article 12, Section 2.2 say. Impeachment of state-level officers or officials should be investigated by the board of directors, followed by a written report to the state assembly. So all we got to do, give the reason why we want him to be impeached and lobby with the rest of the community members. The board will open for us to discuss it and vote upon it. And what we need to do after we give this evidence here, the same Article 12, Section 2.4 say what? The state assembly shall have the authority to vote on the impeachment of the state-level official with a 2/3 majority vote. So these things are so simple. So the president now understand that the people, we the people, can take it from the office so easily. It's not rocket science. Some of you might just get so angry and say the president cannot move, the president cannot move. And we are in a country of law. All we got to do is use the law to take the president from the office. So don't fool this good man. Tell this man, say, Mr. President, you are the person who's serving. Your legacy is on the line. Call your Secretary General. You'll have this conversation. You'll do what the community say. You'll do what the Constitution say. If the president is in violation of the Constitution, the president took an oath. And the president said, I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the Liberian community of Indiana. Let me say something to you. You know, since that thing started, I know I wanted to leave it. Trust me, I want to just let it slide. But when I saw the president started going back and forth with the executive member, and I see the president also going to create separate executive chat, and excluding the vice president from that, the secretary general from that chat, it became a little concerning. And I was like, what's going on? What the president trying to cut a speech from his own executive member that both of them are supposed to sit down and work in the interest of the Liberian people? What's going on? What the president have to have? You see, some people who heard me saying this, they feel that Richie is my brother. We're from the same Bassa group. Why say I'm not talking for Richie? Listen, Richie did nothing wrong. Richie did nothing wrong. So at this point, I can't be including Richie into what is going on. No. Richard played his part. Richard played his part. Let me be honest enough to say this. Richard played his part. But the president never did justice to Richie, the vice president. The president should have been the one to give the excuse for Mr. Richard Boyer. Let me tell your man back. Maybe some of you have forgotten because I love to do research. After the inauguration of Mr. Julius Parker on January 14, subsequently, on January 29, the Liberian community of Indiana had a general meeting. And that general meeting, we went to the general meeting, and after the meeting, the minutes of that meeting were posted. And immediately, who presided over that meeting? If somebody here can remember, tell me who presided when that first meeting after the inauguration. It was the vice president. It was the vice president, Mr. Richard Boyer. Let me read the third paragraph of that meeting minutes. The third paragraph says here, the vice president gave the state of the association. He said, the president is out of the country and the administration which has been in office for a week is working and strengthening bilateral relationship with local and national organizations to include YOLA. He said the administration will need the help of all to achieve its agenda. What is happening right there? The vice president was able enough in a meeting to tell this community that Mr. Julius Parker has traveled out of the country. So if this president, Mr. Julius Parker, were to say to the community that Mr. Richard Boyer is ill, or this happening to Mr. Richard Boyer, that's why he's not in the meeting, the president was going to die that day. You tell Anna. Some of you who back in the thing and see it as, oh, the Secretary General is supposed to agree to what the president said. On the 29th of January, I pulled out the meeting minutes. I went back in the same chat room. The vice president gave excuse for the president, and it is documented. So this president saying to us that even as the vice president gave him excuse, he couldn't say to us, the president keep the excuse for the vice president as a personal document. That, oh, my man, I mean my dad, I mean the president. If I the only one I get, Mr. President, let me tell you today, Mr. President. Some of us we don't blow our own home. But I'm a high guy. And I don't do things haphazardly. If your boys, let me consider them as boys. If your boys who are around you, the little ones who are not elected, pushing you to go the wrong direction, then we will push you in another direction. Then we will distract you from getting into the new year smoothly. Because this will become a matter of you fighting for your position. Because we expect at this time, this community is supposed to be moving in a direction that you, Mr. Parker, serving as a unifier, calling community conference, calling community meeting, reconciling, reaching out to your officials. How can you be fighting in-house, then you want to hold the community together? How can you be cutting a speech from your Secretary General, then you say you want the community to move in a positive direction? How is it possible? If you look at the Constitution here, the Constitution spelled it out, gave you what you can do, gave you what you cannot do, give a Secretary General what he can do and what he cannot do. Everybody's positions are so different. The Constitution says, well, the president should be the chief spokesperson of the association. The president should serve as a liaison between the Liberian Association and other entities. The president should preside over meetings of state assembly. And the president should do what? The president should report on the programs and activities of the association during the conference of the state assembly. The president should convene emergency meeting. The president should appoint chairpersons, ad hoc committees. The president should appoint the board of directors. The board of directors. The president should appoint election commissioners. Those are all your functions. Those are the things you're supposed to do. Come down to the Secretary General, the man you're making power with, the man who is your most powerful person in your administration, who is supposed to hold so tight. Then you make it plan with him. The Secretary General shall be the head of the Secretariat. Mr. President, do you understand what a Secretariat means? If you really know what a Secretariat means by now, Because the little boys who around you telling you can do this, you can do that, you got the power to do this, they just setting you up to fail. They mean well for you. The Secretary General shall be the custodian of all records of the association. You see that again? To tell you how to be powerful. All records, even records for your office, you should have copy. The Secretary General shall recall the minutes of the meeting of the State Assembly and the State Executive Council. The person who is recording the information, who is capable of recording wrong and false information, that the person you're making power with, Mr. President. The Secretary General shall be responsible for all correspondence. All correspondence. The man who sent letter out and received letter, that the man you're making power with, Mr. President. The Secretary General shall be responsible for maintaining access control to the association mail box. The mail can receive a letter and cross and tear and say, oh, I see that one. That the man making plow with. The Secretary General shall serve as the chairperson, as official of the Information and Research Committee. The Information Research Committee, where I say, oh, the Information Research Committee, they don't want supposed to talk, they don't want supposed to talk. What the Constitution say? The Secretary General should serve as official on that committee, Mr. President. So what else, Mr. President, you want me to say before you listen? Then you just passing and listening to those little boys telling you get the power, you got absolute power. Mr. President, you got absolute power. Let me tell you, if you continue what you own, the chapter of the Constitution, Article 12, Section 2.2, we will champion this part to impinge you. I can say that today, clearly and fairly in your face. If you keep proceeding the way you are proceeding, we will champion this and the numbers will be too huge. And you don't want to get into that at this stage, Mr. President. The best you can do now, Mr. President, do not allow our community to be dragged in the public. Settle in-house. Call your officials. How long it take to buy a few bottles of beer and tell your wife to cook pepper soup and everybody discuss the thing in-house and we'll move on? How the pa and the man are speaking in the home, then they say they want the children to be speaking. What kind of logic is that? You have to solve this problem. It is your problem, Mr. President. The Constitution was very clear. The Constitution saying Article 12, Section 2.6, any elected officer who is absent for 3 consecutive meetings, 3 duly notice general meetings, shall have his or her position declared vacant by the state or chapter assembly. It is clear. If the vice president missed 3 meetings that you never gave excuse and the secretary general confirmed it, how did the man brought the community to popular or disrepute? And those same little boys you have around you, they all still fooling you again, telling you that, oh, the Secretary General, Barrett, he brought the community to public disrepute so you can suspend him. Mr. President, you're not a boss for Robert Carey. You're not Robert Carey boss man. No, you're not boss for Fatima Famule. You're not boss man for Horty Palmer. You're not boss man for no elected official. You are first among equals. You're looking at the House of Representatives. When they elect everybody that representative, when they go for to elect their senators, when they elect their senator, or I mean say their spokesperson of the House, the Speaker of the House, that Speaker of the House is just first among equal. We are all lawmakers first. So how can you allow the little boys tell you that the Secretary General brought the community image to public disrepute? How? How? Which make no sense. How can somebody who come on the show to verify that information, they say the man brought the community to public disrepute for that matter, you can suspend him, you can do nothing. You know what? They may not elected official. How dare can I even get on the floor for even discussion for somebody to say, oh, the next meeting, we think about bringing it in the next meeting with this. Listen, let me tell you, none of you And Mr. Richard Boya can talk equal to the way me and Richard Boya can talk. That my own brother, my Bassa brother, he's the secretary of the Bassa Association. But when something goes wrong, the president made a mistake, we have to tell the president. The vice president cannot miss 3 meetings in a row, and knowing that the vice president were seriously ill, going through a major surgery. The president never informed the community to say the vice president having this problem, this is what this is going on, which is the president's fault. The vice president, Mr. Richard Boya, he was fair, very fair enough to back this president in the first meeting that was held in this community. The president traveled, and the vice president in that meeting means captured when he presided. He said, the president is not here with us today. The president traveled out of the country, and the president would have loved to be here in this meeting. So what happened to the president if you were just to say that to us too, that the vice president cannot be here with us today because of X, Y, and Z? So this is a whole issue that the president needs to take responsibility for this. The sooner the president takes responsibility for this, the better we will move this community forward, the better everybody will come together and start celebrating and seeking kumbaya again. But if this president start creating group chat and putting the secretary general or the group chat and telling people, say, oh, from today, report in this group chat. Do not report in the group chat that the secretary general is in, Mr. President. You are in complete violation of the Constitution that you took an oath to uphold and defend. Because if you go back to the Constitution and go back to the function of the Secretary General, it tells you clearly that you can say they might report on the other side and they can report to what the Secretary General is. You will be in violation, Mr. President. And if that ever comes to the public, as I'm bringing it up today, if that, you just need to stop it right now. Because the Secretary General shall be responsible for all correspondence. The Secretary General shall be the custodian of all records of the association. They say shall is mandatory. So the president cannot create a new group chat and tell people, say, for today, you're reporting a chat here, you're not reporting the other chat. And you excluded the Secretary General from the new chat. Mr. President, you are making a mistake. That is an impeachable offense. So if you know what I know, all of you people who in that chat, members of the association, elected officials who have been added to that new chat, you better remove yourself from that chat right now as you're hearing me. Because the president is in complete violation of his own oath that he took to uphold and defend the Constitution of the Liberian community. This is not Uganda. The last time I checked, Idi Amin died a long time. So now we're not doing that here, Mr. President. No. We're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. Either you lead or you leave. Two things. You either lead or you leave. This is no more time to sit down here and look at what people fighting in-house. For too long, the community have been behind. We have been fighting our best to see how we can keep the community together. Now we are seeing unity. We are seeing other community groupings coming up. Everybody looking up to the association for direction. Then we can't sit down here. The president is fighting with his Secretary General. The president is not able to take the phone and say, Mr. Secretary General, how are you today? And I always say this on the program here. Inspiring people is the hallmark of every good leadership. Every good leader inspire people, make people to think that, yes, they may care about me. Put your ego down. It mean when you and the secretary settle things, it mean you're not the president. You are the president. So don't let little boys around you emotionally, they already charged by themselves. Then they tell you, say, oh, Mr. President, you're the president. And in fact, you can even suspend the man. You can suspend the man. You're the man equal. And moreover, that thing why you're doing team, you're the man never elected on the same team. You're never elected as Team Parker. The man was elected as Rawa Kerry, you are elected as Parker. So you're elected individually. So there's not a team election here. Everybody registers as an individual, elected as an individual. So you have to respect him as an individual. When he comes to you and have an issue, the first thing you needed to do, if you couldn't address that issue, is to set up a grievance in ethics committee and file that case to the ethics committee and not to kind of denigrate him in the public and making him seen as a liar. which was very wrong on your part. And before I leave, before I forget, I know I don't talk about the president, but let me talk about the first lady too. Madam First Lady, I know you're listening. Somebody already finished giving me your code so you can watch the show in the net because you want to watch the show openly before I see you watching it. But that's fine. Madam First Lady, you are the first lady of the community. Your name is Sonny Renan Parker. But at this point, we need to be serving as a twin mother. We need to be that person like a sponge who can absorb and take to your husband. Because you're the last person that talk in your husband's ear before daylight come up. We need you to serve in a position where every elected official or even members of the community will be able to reach out to you and say whatever they want to say, and you take it to your husband if somebody do not have the means of seeing him. But you of all people, of all person, cannot be the one to determine who has motive or not when they call you to say something. You also blew this thing out of proportion. The Secretary General, according to you, I listen to you. You formed in on one of these local radio stations here. And the Secretary General said to you, according to you, that Madam First Lady, your man is in violation. And jokingly saying to you, the Secretary General said, we're about to remove the man. Period. You call your husband, and your husband said when he come back, you will discuss it. That was enough. But for you concluding that there was a motive, that's why in all of the community and that motive, now you're supposed to be doing that one, mama. You are a twin mother. You get roll on the other side, you get roll on the other side, because when you roll on the other side, you roll on some of your child, on some of your children, you roll on the other side, some of your children will be laying out there. You the one, everybody's supposed to come to any time to say, oh, Madam First Lady, I got an issue with so person you. Then you call them and talk to them. The same way, Clyde, we are doing it, your own aware that charity wear. Your own aware not to be protecting your husband, you're not security. Your husband, a president. Your husband knew the heat that is in the fire. That's why he said he was sitting on it. So when he's sitting on it, allow him to be able to take on the responsibility that it comes with. Not every little thing, Madam First Lady, you got to roll your sleeve and go for your husband. So now you to be determined who has motive or not. We understand you are the First Lady. You are the person who everybody is supposed to reach out to. Even people who disagree with other people, you got to be the one to say, hey, they have the peace conference. Oh, you know what happened? Let's talk to the person. Oh, that person has an issue. Mr. President, what are you doing about the other people who on the other side who say this about you? Mr. President, what do you say about this? Now you the First Lady, every smart thing, full load, the First Lady coming down, she not roll, tries to sleep, or she says she can't respond. No, Madam First Lady. We not want our other First Lady here, please. 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 Now you are created the same way. If any elected official who has issue, they will not call you to tell you anymore. Because the only reason they were telling you is for you to get to your husband too, by wisdom. He will listen, call the elders, and say, oh, this is a condition, or one of our executive members say they have the issue. But you know what happened? Let me call my boys. Those are all my elected boys. Hey, my man, you come to my house tomorrow, or that means play tomorrow. And my father, they start cooking the soup. We come, we shake hands, we talk about it, we laugh about it, and we keep it indoor, and the unity remain. In union, success is show. Madam First Lady. So, Madam First Lady, executive issues, everything they're doing in the executive, elected official doing, please stay far away from it. Now your era, mama. Anything that has to do with this administration, when it has to do with the executive, in your era. Your era is charity. Start looking for ways to generate money. Start writing business owners anytime. Emma, Alvin, Logan, and Jeevan Smith, and who get businesses. Start writing to them. Right there about charity work. When they send out money, you start calling children party, buying popcorn, school about to open, you buying boat bed to be sharing with the children in your own wedding, Madam First Lady. Now you're where to be talking in executive matters. No. Now you're where to determine which executive member have a motive. No. Though campaign time is over. I know you are supporting your husband. That's why during the campaign, you're responding the way you're responding. We agree. But after the campaign, we expect our First Lady to be that person who can neutralize. Who, when tension coming from here, the First Lady will say, oh, the other thing are happening here. let me go talk to my children because you're the mother of this community. We not expect the mother to be some of the person who will be taking side and one foot on the other side and one foot on the other side, or the person has a motive that what the person said that. You make elected officials very uncomfortable down to deal with you or to call you to give you anything. So begging you, mama, please, just stick in your role. Stick in your role. And Mr. President, I'm saying to you as my brother and friend, that new chat you created and you excluded the Secretary General from there, dissolve that chat now. It's not healthy for your legacy because you are in violation. If the Secretary General cannot have the information, you, the president, can't have that information to keep. You'll be in violation. The Secretary General is the custodian of the information of this community. So you cannot tell him, say, he can't have the information, he created a new chat. No. That Rick Road that is going on, we expect it to come to an end now. No. We don't expect the Secretary General to be running different place and you're running different place. Please, Mr. President. And Mr. President, lastly, before we leave, the other breaking news I got, I will save it for Thursday because that is so damaging. And I hope this thing here, you're able to fix it before Thursday. You're able to solve the problem before Thursday. Because the whole thing that is happening here, there's something that is behind it. And the thing that is behind it, I won't mention it here because I want peace in this community. And when I mention it here, it will blow into proportion and other people will have to say, other people will have different things to say about it. And I want nobody running with something that would further tear us apart. I want us to remain united. If the horse cannot hold, then what do you expect to hold? You people should be holding. You are the elected officials. We expect you to hold together. We expect you, the president, to be the person who will lead by inspiration. You will inspire your guys. Inspiration will make the guys to come together and say, let's do it together. Let's work together. Let's serve these people of this community. But if you're not holding together, you're cutting your speech from your Secretary General, you're creating new chat and not putting the Secretary General on a new chat that you created, then who's the custodian of this community information if the Secretary General is being excluded from all of these things? So, Mr. President, I'm saying this to you, please. The reason I'm not saying anything about the latest development I get, the latest information I have, because I just wanted to slide. The reason even Mr. Kerry is not coming here today, because I want us to further hold this thing here, talking about community matter outside. It's about time you, the president, you are a good man, Mr. Parker. Don't allow those people there around you, the little boys around you, control your decision making. It is about you. Being president, you have to be very decisive. You're the last man who makes the decision. When the people bringing in news to you, it better you go back and authenticate those news better. Because anything you say in the open, it casts an expression on you. Please, Mr. Parker, I understand you're right out and Parker right out, who right and who wrong. We will not pass that stage. But yesterday, by creating an executive chat and excluding Robert from that chat and not adding all the rest of the other people and telling them, see how it was so disrespectful, Mr. President? How can you go in the old chat and put message there say, going forward, all correspondence must be in the new chat. And you know Robert is in the old chat, he will see that. That was so disrespectful, Mr. President. The same way you want to be respected, respect the other people. Respect the other people. Nobody want to disrespect your office. So you don't have to disrespect other people's office as president. And that thing the little boys telling you in your head, you the president. We understand you the president, but you're not boss man for Robert. You're not boss man for Fatima. You're not boss man for Hoti Palmer. You're not boss man for Rachel Boyer. You just first among equals. You guys were all elected equally. You guys are all elected officials. But separate positions. Please, Mr. President. Any other thing that sounds damaging that we have to talk about, I will keep it. The other thing I come to here, if I just told it 1 year, it more than the inaugural report. So I won't keep it. And I want all the community holding here and holding there and holding here and holding there. I just want to leave it. The reason why Mr. Kerry, I even bring him on. The reason why I even call him Mr. Kerry to say anything. Because at this point, we expect you, the president, to learn to control these kind of things. Stop listening to the little boys around you, telling you that you're the president, you get absolute power, you can do this, you can do that, you can suspend a man, you can do that one, you can do that one. You can't do it, Mr. President. I already finished showing you right here. Right in the same constitution you say you're reading to. You see the constitution gave me the power here to take you from office too. The constitution only allowed me to write my formal complaint to the board investigated and forward it to the state assembly, and I lobby among it to check and take you from office, Mr. President. So sometimes when you're talking, the same rope that can hold baboon, that same rope can hold monkey. Those of you who don't have access to the constitution of the Liberian community, take it. It's a piece of document. It's not that lengthy. It's just 18 pages. 18-page document. So that's something where you can just read in 10 or 15 minutes. It's an 18-page document. Short document. It's a little ambiguous. You will need further interpretations. Like if you go back to the Constitution, like the Pacific article that Mr. Robert Kerry referenced, that is very ambiguous. But if you go by parity of reasoning, he's right. Because if you go here, Article 12, Section 2.6, they say any elected officer who is absent from 3 consecutive meetings, duly notice general meeting, shall have his or her position declared vacant. So now if you go here, they didn't say any elected official who absent and don't give notice. They didn't say you might give notice. They didn't say nothing. They say you shouldn't be absent. Then the president, the president said, oh, the person gave me notice. So it means the president rewriting the Constitution, and which, of course, he was wrong. Mr. President, community members, I'm asking all of you people, there's no more time to fight. The ambassador, let me recognize some of my people following me here. I see Mr. Robert Kerry, welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my dear sister, Winter Snow, welcome. I see Leah Fokpa, welcome. I see my sister, she just love peace. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my man Raji. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my man Boyma Konowa. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see Fati Rita Koluba. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my dear brother Evan Smith. Welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my brother Mark Arthur D. The financial secretary of the Bassa Association of Indiana. Welcome, my dear brother. I see my brother Deborah Emmett, the man who playing the number 9 position for Money Barrow. Welcome, my brother. I see Mr. Ivan Logan here following. Mr. Logan, welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my dear brothers, Blama Savannah Fofana Polo Keita. Blama Savannah Fofana Polo Keita. Welcome to the Logan's Hour, my brother. I see the King UJ Doswa following. Thank you for following the King. I see my sister Titi Banks. Welcome. I see my sister Brenny Afa, the youth department chairperson. Welcome. I see my own sister here, Celine Valentino. Welcome. I see the captain of the Indiana Lone Star, Mr. Ellis Panto White. Welcome. I see my own big brother following me here from Minnesota right now, Mr. Jeffrey Logan. Welcome, my dear brother. I see my own dear big brother again, Mr. Vanny Camo. Mr. Camo, welcome to the Logan's Hour. I see my dear friend, brother, Mr. Heron Pushy now. Welcome, my dear brother. I see the current ambassador, Ambassador Zion Glad Cheyi, following the Logan's Hour. Welcome, my dear brother. I see my dear brother, Bernard Beauplet. Mr. Beauplet, tough talking, Mr. Beauplet. Welcome. I see my sister, Tiama, taking over by Riz W. Basigia. My brother in Liberia right now. Welcome so much, man. I see my brother, Stephen. Good luck, Lama Bob Porter. Dinaro. You see the chicken, I'm my John, I get blows are good. Welcome, my dear brother. I see my dear sister, Precious Logan. Welcome to the Logan Hour. I see my sister, Tufor. Welcome to Four Sosa. I see my brother, Elisha Tito Harris. Welcome. I see my Oma, my Winnie Comfort. Welcome, Patient Reese. Welcome. Looking our Princess Tutu Makate, welcome. My Annie Gibson, welcome. Sis Vera, welcome. Olivia Keep on Cheyu, welcome. And all of you who joined the Logan's Hour here, I want to say welcome. I see my guy, Agents 9, welcome. And I see Vida Duo, welcome. I see King James Kessely, Baba Sala, welcome. All of you, welcome. To call everybody in that. I see my own brother Moses Sosa. He joined us too, my dear brother. Welcome. I see the ambassador following us here right now. Ambassador, welcome. I see the Moses follower from Iowa. Thank you so much, my brother, for joining us. And to all of you, if I call your name, I'm so sorry. Please, that the thing about calling me, you gotta call everybody name. So if I call your name, I ain't doing it. Oh, I see my own sister, Chocopy Johnson. Now my own sister that will get rocket, but we can fix it. You see, like thing we're talking about, Mr. President, be like me, be like my sister, we can rocket, but we can fix it. Yeah, my own sister, welcome, Chocopy. And oh, I see the Professor Pele following us here. Professor Wole Pele, welcome. Tomorrow, don't forget, she will be on TGIF. Thank God is fabulous. So John, thank God is fabulous tomorrow. Let's talk about the issue. And I see Abra Ferret. Welcome. Who again? Everybody. I don't lie. Because I see Kelvin Hereda. Welcome. And Mr. Elisha Tito Harris, welcome. Ali Situ Prophet, welcome. Habakran, welcome. Bansha, welcome. Manvera Hamu, thank you. Nicodemus Jacob, thank you for joining. Logan, our sis Isabella Nimba, thank you for joining. So it's too much. Trust me, I can't call everybody name. I'm so sorry. I can't call. I can't call everybody name right now because it will just eat up all of the time. But you know what? We want to say we are grateful you are here. Because of you, we are here. Please, the show is about to end. We're asking you to please go back and donate to Mr. Rufus Tati close of his campaign. The campaign closes on Saturday. So he asking the community to please, any amount, this is the cash app information here. Dalisha saying, be part of history making. Saying your $5, your $10, your $20, your $25, your $40, your $1, your $2. Mr. Tati, we appreciate. Any amount can win at this stage. Please don't hold your pocket tight. Because when you go to Labrador tomorrow to go visit the lawmaker, he will not hold your pocket tight. He will put you in a nice guest house. They will pay your fufu and soup. You will be drinking it. You'll be eating it with your country chicken. Please. We're asking you all, please, my people, you please donate to this closing of the campaign. So until we meet again, we want to say to all of you who joined us here today, we want to say thank you. It was a pleasing pleasure to serve you. And please don't forget, our brother will be graduating from Purdue University, Mr. P. Richard Boya, Vice President of the Liberian Community of Indiana. He will be obtaining a master's degree in cybersecurity. Mr. Boya, I want to say congratulations again. And don't forget the big one coming up. We got something coming up. This is going to be on October 21st, 2023. My own dear sister, Jiman Boateng. Yeah. Jiman Boateng having her baby shower. Don't forget to please join Jiman Boateng. The baby shower will go down. Please. It's going to be at 1446 BEARSDEN Drive, Avon, Eviana, 46123. Please join Jiman Boateng as she celebrates her new baby coming. And you know, baby shower, you know the tradition. Just get your little web, get your little dapper, get your little pamper. Anything you can get, the other people will get their own. And at the end of the day, that small thing may be. So my Liberian people then will go into that baby shower. Let's go with something in our hand. I know that we're going to do our tradition. Every day we'll be going our packing and swinging our hand and swinging. But on Thursday, we're coming here. We got two things. We got a breaking news, but we'll hold our breaking news to see how Mr. Parker is going to control this process. If he's going to control it with a lot of maturity, then we'll keep the breaking news and just let it slide because that will further bring noise in the community. Then, if not, we will talk about it here. But we'll also be discussing the Flag Day report. The Flag Day report. Some of you know the Flag Day report is the longest report ever in the history of this community. Just the inaugural day report. Since we had the Flag Day program, since August, we're in October now. The Flag Day report can come. The July 26th report can, we'll discuss it here. yesterday, July 26th report. We discussed it. We told you about the community fought in the red. So we want to see a flat day report now if we fell in the red. So if we fell in the red again, then me falling in red have become a little constant thing now that we get involved with. So we want to say thanks to everybody. We want to say we are truly happy that you joined us here. We're truly happy that you're able to join the Logan's Hour. And we want to say you guys are the reason we are here. And don't forget, and you are on the Logan's Hour. Until we meet again, we want to say good night and bye-bye.